Sherry, you want to take it away?
You bet. So we'll call this meeting to order at 9:06 a.m. Item number 2, adoption of the agenda. So adoption of the agenda for the February 4th, 2020 CBT, CIP, AAP Adjudication Committee. So we need someone to make and a second.
Sure.
Beth. Okay. And item number 3, adoption of the previous minutes. So adoption of the minutes of the March 15, 2020 CBT, CIP, AAP Adjudication Committee meeting. I read that and I thought, oh, that's only a month away, but that was like a year ago. So
Yeah, they're old ones.
yeah, exactly. So can we have a mover and a Beth and Meg? And everyone had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. And so point number 4, appointment of committee chair. So we need to elect a committee chairperson for the 2021 CBT, CIP, AAP Adjudication Committee. Do we have anyone that wants to volunteer? And the crickets are chirping.
I usually would recommend somebody who's been on it last year, just because they kind of know the process.
Yeah, and I think both of the ones that were on last year are not here today. Oh, Beth, you were on it last year.
Meg, you were on it as well.
Meg, yeah.
Pretty easy. All you have to do is read the agenda, essentially.
Yep, basically. Follow the agenda and keep us moving.
I could do it. I just don't have the agenda. I can't find it in the files.
Did you want me to send it to you real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of pages for this one. 55 pages. So we're going to nominate Meg?
Sure.
Okay. And all in favor? Okay, Meg, take it away.
I'm just gonna send you here. Agenda's on its way.
Perfect.
Not there yet.
That's coming. It might be the internet connection on my end, but
Okay.
If you have it on your screen, you could maybe share it too, Krista. Maybe just pop it up there so
Yeah.
everyone could see it.
Oh, there it is.
just thinking
All right.
that. Let me-
What page are we
Oh,
on?
did you get it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Action. So 5 correspondence for action. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So letter of request from Vail Mountain Area Recreation Development Association. So do we have that?
Yeah, just scroll down to page 9.
Number 9, adjournment.
No, page 9.
Page 9.
Sorry.
Oh, page 9. Why don't these have page numbers? Okay. Okay. All right. So request for decision, recommendation that Belmont Area Recreation Development Association request to apply for 2021 CBT CIP AAP intake be granted as long as the application is for funding for a separate project from their 2020 application.
Did you want me to kind of explain this one a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so usually if a project from a past year is not completed, if they get an extension, they're not eligible to apply to the next year unless they get their final report in before the intake ends. But we had probably 6 or more extensions granted, with delays being due to COVID and contractors being able to get in and that kind of thing. So we put a stipulation in this year's guidelines that says that you may apply to this intake as long as your reasoning for not getting your project done was due to COVID and you could kind of show that. So they submitted the letter and a letter from their contractors stating that they weren't able to complete it in time. And then we just have to decide whether to say yes or no, if their reasoning was sufficient or not. The letter is down a couple pages if you want to read them. And yeah, so they can't get funding for, because we also had a inquiry for the same reasoning. They couldn't do their fundraising, so they wanted additional funding for a project. And I already told that one that they could not do that. The project needs to be completed as you outlined in your application. We can't give them extra money the next year if they didn't even complete the past project, right? So if Varda was to be approved, they would need to show in their application that these are, I haven't seen their application, I don't know if they're applying yet for, but I'm guessing it's going to be more trails in the same network. So they will have to show that they are separate trails from the ones we funded in 2020.
Is the Robson design build one as well?
Yes, there's 2 letters that they submitted, one from Varda requesting and one from Robson, which is their contractor, just saying why they were unable to get their project completed.
Okay. All right. So now do we go back to correspondence for action, unfinished business?
No, we still have to move item
okay.
5.1. So we just need someone to make a motion, second it, and then vote on it. So I'll move that we accept their application with the required requirements. That sounded silly, but
Seconded.
Beth or Valerie, Graham, you want a second or?
I'll second it if you need.
And everyone's in favor of that? Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I missed that part.
you don't want to miss that piece. No.
Yeah.
So we have no unfinished business. Or is there unfinished business?
No.
No. Okay. And then new business says nil as well, but I feel like
That was just a typo on my end, sorry.
okay. All right. So 7.1 review of the committee terms of reference. That the CBT CIP AAP terms of reference be received for information and guidance. All right, Columbia Basin Trust Committee Initiatives Program and Affected Areas Program Adjudication Committee, terms of reference. Do I need to read all of this?
I hope not, because it's a lot.
I don't think so.
I think it's okay if you ask everyone if they've had a
Everyone-
chance to read it.
Okay, has everyone read this?
And is there any questions, basically?
Anybody?
It was a very dry read, let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's essentially the how-to guides.
So, back to. So, do I say if anyone wants to pass that or something?
Yeah, we want to accept it. So if you want to take a vote, mover, seconder.
I'll move to accept.
I'll second it.
I second it.
Valerie, perfect.
And everyone agree? I don't know how the wording goes for this. I haven't
Is
done
it-
this in a year.
He did say all in favor?
All in favor?
Yes. Okay, you're doing fine.
Okay, cool. All right, so. Okay. The scrolling thing, I need to print this. All right, back to, where are we? All right, so review of legislation governing committee of council's function and role. Everyone has read that.
Many times. For me, anyway.
Anyone have questions?
What page are you on now, Meg?
It says 16 to 41 is 7.2.
Okay.
It's reference from page 2, 7.2.
Those are the council procedure bylaws, and this committee follows the same form and function as a council meeting, basically. So if you have any questions about how the meetings are run, that's where the answers are for that.
And specifically, kind of throughout, but specifically part 8, the committees and commissions, just kind of goes over what we are to do.
Everyone has read that. Any questions, or do we all, someone want to pass that and second it?
Have you seconded already?
Someone has to move it. I can move to accept.
Okay. So,
I'll
is
second
there a
it.
second? Okay. And then everybody agrees.
Yep.
All right. Now back to. All right, 7.3. Review the 2021 CBT, CIP, AAP guidelines for submitting project application forms. That the CBT, CIP, AAP Adjudication Committee received the 2021 application guide for information and guidance. This is on page 42 to 50.
So these are the guidelines that every applicant must follow for their application. So these probably most important if you guys familiarize yourself with the questions and the guidelines, specifically what's not eligible, what is eligible, that kind of thing.
Has it changed from last year?
No, not really. The only thing that changed was the allowing people to apply if their delays were due to COVID. So everything else should be pretty well the same as 2020. The public process has changed too, but we'll discuss that at a later item.
So, someone to move the motion?
I'll
Sure.
move.
Does anybody want to second that?
Yeah.
Best second.
Perfect, and everyone agrees?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Next chunk. All right, so we are at 7.4. Review of the 2021 CBT CIP AAP project evaluation form for use by the adjudication committee members. That the 2021 CBT CIP AAP project evaluation form be accepted for information, guidance, and use used as the document on which to evaluate 2021 CBT CIP AAP project applications. This is on page 51 to 52.
Has that
So-
changed from last year?
If we're going to make a change from last year, this now would be the time to do it. I think last year we did change something.
Last year, we added the 5 points for other considerations.
Yeah.
So whether they had letters of community support, if put any weight on their attachments, whether they attached studies to their project, anything that kind of boosts their application a little bit. Other than that, I think we lowered the score on project partners because it was less important that they had a partner than, a good project. So this is the scores we set out last year. So out of 100, we had 20 points for community benefit, 10 for methodology, 5 for partners, 5 for their capacity to do the project.
15.
15. 15 for their financial information, and 5 for other. And then the public vote is worth 30 points, so 30% of their kind of score.
So how are we doing the community vote this year?
That is, I think, a couple items down, but there will be a vote still. It'll be more of an online thing.
And there was no issues with it last year? Did you guys find that it actually worked well, like the application form?
Sorry?
I said, did the application, what we're talking about now, did that process work well last year? Like, was there any flaws in it that you noticed last year?
The scoring, did you guys find it easy to use the scoring cards, or was there anything you wanted to change? Meg, Beth, I think you're the only two that used it, so.
It was good to have a guideline.
You did.
You're on mute, Beth. We can't hear you. I swear I got to put that on a t-shirt and sell it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, it was pretty straightforward and it was helpful because then you added up the total score after, and that's was kind of gave you a good guideline as to where you were at with that application. So I thought it was good.
Yeah. So
It was created a while ago. Was that just a fair way to score every application the same?
Mhm.
Yeah. Plus, it
So-
gives people an idea of why you scored them lower and for a specific reason.
Right.
And then, so where are we? So this is 7.4 still. Does someone want to move this motion, or is there more to discuss?
I'll second.
Everybody agrees?
Yeah.
All right. And then 7.5, is this one in correlation to that one? Review the evaluation weights for application and change if necessary?
Yeah, if we wanted to change the percentages for each item, we could do that now, but it's up to you guys.
Doesn't seem like it. All right. So no need for a change. Someone want to move that motion?
I'll move that.
Second it?
I'll second.
Perfect. And everybody agree?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. On to 7.6. Summary of funding allocations by organization from 2012 to 2020, page 53. That the summary of funding allocations be accepted for information. So we're just agreeing on if this is acceptable.
Yeah, so this is just to show you how much money has been, or how much funding has been given to each organization over the years. It's helpful if, say, you get significantly more applications than there is funding. You may choose to say, well, we funded this person every year. Maybe this person we've never funded. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't, but it just for your information purposes to see who's gotten how much, when, for what, that kind of thing.
And do these amounts account for the people that have had not used it, or I guess it's just people that have had the money given to them essentially?
This is just, yeah, any granted funding. If you're wanting to know if they got a application approved and then they returned money, that's not in there, but I could tell you that if you want that information.
All right. So does somebody want to move the motion?
Question
Nope.
first.
We have a question.
So do we like look at if they had money in the past 2 or 3 years? Like, is there an indication that we don't give them money like in the 4th year or like that? Or is it just whoever applies gets it basically? How does it work?
Well, you're just gonna score them based on the project. So essentially, if it has usually it's the more community benefit it has, the better the project. This is just a guideline just to show you how much money has been handed out to each organization in the past. It was requested from past committees. You guys may not find it as useful as past committees, but I just put it in there just so you would know what's been given out.
Okay, so basically the committee, what we're doing here, there's a X amount of dollars per year that's allotted, right?
Yeah.
By Columbia Trust. And so how, do we know how much that is this year?
Yes, it is. Let me pull it up here. Of course, I can't find it right at this moment.
Put
And
Oh,
down
here
the
we go.
pen.
There's
I
no
got it.
residual amount left over from last year because we used it
We
all.
only had $49 left over from last year because we spent all of it, and then we had a bit of money returned, about $1,900, just for projects that cost less than what they had planned.
Sweet.
And so available this year is $250,814.18.
Precisely.
Yeah, precisely.
So who donates the money every year? Is this government money or what is it?
Columbia Basin Trust.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Columbia Basin Trust gets the money, that's their trust itself. So there's donations, is it, that's been donated to them and then they distribute it? Is that the way it works?
It's
Well, the money I believe is from like the Columbia Basin Treaty, I believe. So the money goes to CBT and then they allocate it to all of their funding programs, the community initiatives being one of them. So every community in the basin will receive a certain amount of funding and then they allocate it to their societies as they see fit, essentially.
Okay, thank you.
cool.
Good
Right.
questions.
Yeah. Any more questions? No? All right. So does somebody want to move that motion?
I'll move that.
All right. And a second. Beautiful. All right. And everybody agrees?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. On to 7.7, public input meeting and online public forum. That the public input meeting meeting report be accepted for information, page 54 to 55.
I'll jump in on this one. So for 2020, because of COVID and restrictions, we will not be able to hold a public input meeting like we did last year. We were hoping that restrictions would relax enough to have some sort of public meeting, but as of right now, we can't really hope for it anymore. We have to start planning it, so we're gonna have to just eliminate the public meeting altogether. So in replacement, because it is a requirement of the program to have a public portion, we will be creating an online engagement. The Village of Valemount has recently subscribed to Civil Space. It's an online engagement platform. So it allows you to create an event. We can post all the application summaries, so like a description of every project. I believe we can have a spot where people can make comments and ask questions and we can answer them. I'm not 100% sure how it works yet. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet or anything, but we'll be able to post the applications. We'll have a scoring, just like at the public meeting, they would rate it, like score it on a scale of 0 to 5. They'll be able to put in their comments whether they think it shouldn't be funded and why, or whether they think it should be funded and why. And
I just have a quick question about that.
yeah,
Since last year it was mainly based around age, if you could be a part of it, how is that going to be watched this year?
like if you, what do you mean?
We had underage voters last year, I
Yeah.
remember now. Yeah, so we had youth attended the public and we're
And then
trying to
parents
submit
were giving
votes
them
as,
forms.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure how we're going to stop that, but we can see how many votes come from, I believe we can see like IP addresses, so we can see like if more than one vote came from one computer.
So if people are trying to go on and make 20 votes for something from the same computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will be able to tell. I know last year we were one of the few communities that were able to hold a public meeting. This was very successful in most of the other ones. Some of the ones, they were very skeptical because we have a meeting at the beginning of the year and they kind of go over how it went. And most of them were skeptical on the online process, whether it would give them, I guess, good feedback that they could take and use for voting. But they ended up getting double, if not triple, the voters as they usually get because it's open for so much longer.
Right.
And people can take their time, go on, read the applications, summaries, they can ask questions if they want, they can vote, make comments, and they end up getting some pretty good feedback.
Is there an
So-
option on this platform for the proponents to like create a little video and submit it? Because that we're missing, it's all in written format or?
I'm
Like,
not
are-
quite sure yet.
Okay,
I will ask for that though, if we can, but.
'cause that would be great.
Until I start building it, which I'm
Yeah.
gonna try and do before we get the applications in, just have it set up in the background, so I just have to add the summaries. Once I can build it, we will kind of know what we can add to it. And a video would be nice. It would be nice for them to be able to, I don't know, even a slideshow, PowerPoint, something like that.
Yeah, because they're not
So-
able to stand up and speak, to people in the public format. So if they could make a short little video or a PowerPoint video, just kind of outlining, rather than just reading a paper application, because you don't always get the.
Yeah, and it would be more of a one-page summary. They could add pictures in, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Rather than
yeah.
an application, we won't post the whole application.
Yeah.
But I think that might be something that I'll be asking for from the applicants once they've submitted their applications is they usually had to make up a presentation anyway, so.
Yeah, and then my other question about that would be, if the public submits questions to the proponent, how do we give them the opportunity to answer those questions? Is that all done during that
Yeah.
4-week period or after. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It will be, and it's a learning curve on my end too, because I haven't gotten to use the platform yet. So I know in the past we've created simple ones where it's just questions, and it is nice at the end. It does graph it all out and show you who got what votes and the scores, like give you the average score. So that is nice in that way. But we might also, because usually the committee gets to ask questions.
Yeah.
We might do that a little bit more privately. We'll send them the questions and they can send us the answers, and it can be added to the evaluation on your guys' end.
Right.
Cool.
Valerie
Anything else from this part that needs to be explained, Krista?
has a question.
Just one, the format of how we do the evaluation, I understand it was written, like we were able to physically have the stuff compiled. This time it's not, where we're restricted to being just online to see it, or are we going to physically receive the information?
Oh, I'll still make up binders of all the applications, and it'll be in paper form. You can pick up at the front desk. There just won't be that in-person meeting to pick it up. We'll have to do another Zoom.
No, I
It'll be
just,
different.
yeah, no, it seems to be, it would be more difficult to do it through a computer setup than to physically have it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So I'll still be making the binders for you guys to pick up. It'll have all the paper applications and all the information, as well as the scorecards are in paper form, so you can write your notes, that kind of thing.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So does somebody want to move that motion?
Oh, and just one additional thing. I will try and have go and take a closer look at it and start setting it up, hopefully before our next meeting. So before it goes live, some of those questions you had about how it's going to work will hopefully be answered before it goes live, because I'm hoping it'll go, I think March 2nd, I believe, is when we're hoping to run it for. March 1st until the 26th. So it'll be up for 4 weeks. But the application deadline is February 19th. So we will have a week or so in there to really like figure out how this is going to function.
Yeah.
That binder that you're doing, could you add that attachment that you sent us this morning, or I got this morning, with everything, all the how the meetings are ran and all that information? Could you put that in the binder?
Yeah, I can put all that in the front.
Yeah, it's just for us more, if I need confirmation or something, I can just a quick look through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I usually have it in there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. So we need to move the motion. Who would like to do that?
I move the motion.
Okay, and who would like to second that?
A second.
And everybody agrees. Beautiful. All right. Number 8, council recommendations. Are there any? No?
No,
Okay.
I think it's in there.
Perfect. Do I have to still move that, or?
No.
Beautiful. All right, adjournment at 9:40. It was moved that February 4th, 2021 meeting of the CBT CIP AAP Adjudication Committee be adjourned. Are we done?
Yeah, that was short and sweet.
Yep.
Not bad. Yeah.
All right.
And